Okay. So I haven't covered My Hero Academia for like 2 months, and that's because mainly, One Punch Man has been popping off, and I've covered a lot of One Punch Man in the past 2 months, and also Record of Ragnarok has also been popping off, so I had to cover that as well. But now I think I'm finally back in My Hero Academia. I feel like it's time I started covering it again, and it's just really good at the moment. I've been, reading the chapters, and it's been pretty fucking good. So I decided, why not? Let me just cover some My Hero Academia. And of course, My Hero Academia gets views. So, I want views, obviously. So, I have to cover it. But anyway, I kind of just want to talk about, I guess, the things that could happen in the next chapter of My Hero Academia. And I'll be also discussing, the things that happened in the last chapter, or I guess the latest chapter, which is chapter 322. But before we get into the damn video, I must warn you guys that this video will obviously contain My Hero Academia, I guess, manga spoilers. So if you're not caught up with the manga, then I suggest you exit the video, because there's going to be major manga spoilers in this video. But apart from that, if you like My Hero Academia, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel, because why the hell not? I'm going to be covering a lot more My Hero Academia content on the channel. So if you like My Hero Academia, then I suggest you subscribe to the channel. But apart from that, let's just get into the damn video. Now, in the last chapter, we see Deku finally accepts the help of his friends, and we see that he kind of just gives in to his friends helping him. And I guess in the next chapter we'll see what happens at UA. But we see that in this chapter, Bakugo and Deku have a pretty big moment. We see that Bakugo finally says sorry to Deku for all the things he's done up until now. And to be completely honest, this is probably one of the biggest moments in My Hero Academia, because we don't see, Bakugo, openly say his feelings towards Deku. And I mean, it's a pretty big moment, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it was impactful as I thought it would be. I mean, I saw a lot of people say they cried to this, but personally, I didn't actually cry. Like, I mean, many people may have, a more stronger emotional connection with these characters, but personally, I just didn't cry. I don't know if I'm crazy, but I just didn't cry in this moment. But many people I saw did say they cried, so I mean, I guess it was a pretty big moment for them. But moving on, we see that Deku actually returns to UA, and we see that the UA students actually don't want Deku to stay, which is completely understandable, because if I was in UA, I wouldn't want Deku to stay in my school, because Deku is kind of just the straight up magnet for All For One. And I mean, if Deku was to stay in UA, all of the students at UA are at a big risk, because All For One obviously wants, one for all. And if Deku's staying at UA, I mean, All For One will come to UA, and if there's anyone standing in his way, aka Class 1A, he will get rid of them. And I mean, I would like to see All For One versus Class 1A, even though it would be a very one-sided match. I would still like to see that, but I doubt it would happen, because I'm pretty sure Deku and Class 1A will, end up leaving UA and kind of do what Deku was doing, but it will be kind of a team effort. But we just have to wait and see. Now, overall, I really did like this chapter, but I feel like one thing I'm really worried about is about Bakugo, because I feel like now that Bakugo has kind of accepted that Deku is kind of the main character, he might just end up blending in the background with all the other, useless characters. And I mean, obviously Bakugo won't be completely useless, but I mean, he won't be as, he won't be as in the forefront as he used to be, because Bakugo used to be very, prominent in the My Hero Academia series. He was very, very prominent because, because of his rivalry with Deku and his, just how his character is. But now that Bakugo has kind of accepted that he will never catch up to Deku, I feel like his character may, he might just take the back seat for the rest of the series. But hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully Horikoshi can prove me wrong, because I feel like a good example of this is Todoroki, because after the sports festival, Todoroki did kind of just, blend in the background and just wasn't really as important as I thought he would be. But I feel like his main, focus is with Darby and his whole, family problems. But I feel like the same thing might happen to Bakugo. Now, don't get me wrong, I hope Bakugo does, get included more in the series. I just don't think he will be as, I guess, important as he used to be. Now, the next chapter, in my opinion, will mainly just consist of, I guess, just dialogue between the UA students and Class 1A. Obviously, I feel like Deku will stay at UA for a couple of days, but I feel like after that, Class 1A will be forced to leave UA just for the safety of the rest of the students at UA. Because if Deku is at UA, that just, you know, puts everyone at risk, which I just don't think is very smart. Obviously, I do admit that, you know, UA does have some pretty good defense systems, but I don't think it can really do anything to One For All. If One For All comes in person to take Deku, or if Shigaraki comes in person to take Deku, which most likely won't happen, but it's still a possibility. If that does happen, then I'm not too sure if UA can really do anything. Now, I feel like if Deku and Class 1A was to leave UA and kind of do what Deku was doing, but as a team, that would make a lot more sense. Now, I feel like a whole class going probably isn't the best idea, but if like the main characters or the more strong characters come with Deku, like Kirishima, Bakugo, Todoroki, even Uraraka, maybe even Momo, even, you know, Tokoyami, if those kind of people come with Deku to support him, that would make a lot more sense to me. Like, I guess the rest of the side characters can stay in UA, but I feel like people like that should follow Deku and kind of, you know, move around to keep UA safe instead of, you know, just staying in UA and, you know, kind of putting everyone at risk. But I feel like that's pretty much it for this video. This video was unscripted. This was just me, you know, just pouring all of my ideas into this video about what may happen in the future chapters. But I feel like, yeah, that's kind of what I think will happen. But in my opinion, this chapter was pretty good. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And apart from that, if you like the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm going to be posting a lot more My Hero Academia content. So yeah, you can subscribe. But apart from that, I will see you in my next video.